the history of Makerere University, in the history of the young people of Uganda. What a joy, what an honor, what a privilege to receive the mother of the nation. What an honor. Performing arts and film are welcoming our guest of honor, Mama, the mother of the nation, our dear First Lady, and Honorable Minister of Education and Sports. Mama, we receive you with great joy. We receive you, and yet you are our host. We want to say thank you for having us, being the mother of the nation. Yes, joy and celebration as we receive you, our dear mother. Thank you very much. Thank you for, yes, excitement, ululations, joy. To this, your institution at the Freedom Square. Thank you so much for being here with us at the launch of your program that we are together with you, the Emerging Leaders Program. We are honored to have you, Mama, as indeed the brainchild. This is your brainchild, this is your vision. I want to say thank you very much for your heart for the young people, your heart for the future of our nation, Uganda, and to have that motherly heart. Thank you very much, and very, very, very most welcome. We will stay standing for the anthems. Let us pray.
Heavenly Father, We come to say thank you for this wonderful day you've given to us. Thank you for the opportunity of a new day and allowing us to be a part of the launch of this great program in this institution. Thank you for gathering us from all the different walks of life so that this very day you may unveil your glory in our midst. We thank you for Mama Janet, our First Lady, the Minister of Education and Sports, for the love for this country and the love for our young people. We as well thank you for our great institution, Makerere University, its leadership and its passion to build for the future. We thank you for the fact that you've established this institution to mentor Uganda's leaders. We pray that as you launch this, your program in this great institution, that you will continue to guide the leadership and the partners in this institution. We pray that through this program, our students and lecturers will be mentored to acquire the necessary winning character and skills, values, and attitudes that will help them to become the very best in Uganda and in the world at large. Our prayer is that your will as it is in heaven will be so on this day, in this institution, and through this program. Be glorified, Heavenly Father. We thank you, we give you praise. In your mighty name we prayed with thanksgiving. And everyone says, Amen.
I'd like to request that we'll have our seats, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, the Reverend Dr. Lydia Chitaingwa, the chaplain of St. Francis Chapel, Makerere University, for leading us in the opening word of prayer. Mama, the First Lady of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Members of Parliament present, Permanent Secretaries and Heads of Agencies, the Chairperson of the University Council, Makerere University, Mrs. Lorna Magara, and all the council members present, Vice Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Finance and Administration, and the Chair of the Emerging Leaders Program, Task Force, Professor Henry Arinaitwe, the Co-Chair of the Emerging Leaders Program, Mrs. Barbara Kaija, the Board Chairman of the Global Leadership Summit, Bishop Joshua Ruire, and all board members of the Global Leadership Summit Uganda present, the Board Chair of Life Ministry Uganda, Pastor Joshua Mugabi, and the board members of Life Ministry Uganda present, the Regional Strategy Leader, Student Ministry Africa, Mr. Mudasiru Yusuf, the top management of Makerere University, the leadership of Global Leadership Summit, the leadership of Life Ministry Uganda, distinguished academic staff of Makerere University, the student leadership of Makerere University, all distinguished stakeholders of Emerging Leaders Program present, representatives of Vice Chancellors of Mother Universities, the student body, ladies and gentlemen, you're all most welcome. To lead us in the program today, this afternoon, my name is Elon Katweheyo. I am a member of the leadership team of Life Ministry Uganda, giving leadership to leader strategies. And on my right-hand side, I'll ask her to introduce herself.
Okay, once again, all protocol observed. Good afternoon. I am Joy Eve Serenjoji, a fourth-year medical student, the GRC of Mary Stewart Hall, and the Vice Guild President of this mighty university. I will be co-emceeing with King Elon, and I'm extremely honored to be the MC for this amazing, momentous occasion.
Mama, this is, I know, a day that we've all been looking forward to. I know that you have been most looking forward to this day when we will launch this initiative, this program, which is right at the center of your heart and burdened. So right about now, I'd like to welcome the students that are going to do the safe poem. Please come, please step forward. I believe that we are ready. Please step forward and carry us through that safe poem. We'll clap for them as they come. Encourage them.
Honorable Minister for Education and Sports, the First Lady, Mama Janet Kataaha Museveni, our Vice Chancellor, all protocol observed. My name is Grace Deborah Mirembe, a third-year education student majoring in English language studies and literature.
And Paul Mwesje, a third-year education student majoring in English language studies and literature.
For God and my country, we move forward with our hands firmly in the hand of God, ready to walk the path of outstanding service. For God and for country. We move forward as flaming torches, prepared to lead and light the way, knowing well who we are, committed to our Creator, in whose image we grow. We move forward, holding conversations about ourselves with ourselves, learning about us from small and great, seeking and nurturing cooperation and courage, raising the banner of love to cover self and community.
We move forward, hand in hand, caring for our neighbor at home and on the street, rooting for the human in us, promoting and protecting every individual, starting with us. We move forward, taking family as God-given, learning to listen, building bonds, to foster a better future for God and for country, asking questions of each other, desiring to make sense of our challenges, harnessing humility, honesty, and honor, to focus on the sun of victory and a better tomorrow for God and for country, knowing when to say no
and when to say yes, seeking good for us and others, and to always remember that we are the people building the future for God and for our country.
Thank you so very much for that wonderful poem. It's lovely to see the youth, it's lovely to see the young people realize what challenges they have and see that they need to change. You know, to change, you don't just come and tell someone change and they change. They need to feel that they are going to change, and then the change will come eventually. Thank you so much, Grace, and your friend, for this lovely poem. Next on the program are going to be testimonials from some of the student leaders, a student leader and a lecturer who attended the earlier on January program for the Emerging Leaders program, and a part of the very first cohort of those that were trained, the Emerging Leaders program trainees. I'd love to invite Ms. Julian Kanyasije a student of ours from the Bachelor's in Quantitative Economics. I love that tent. Thank you so much.
Our chief guests, the First Lady of Uganda and the Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataaha Museveni, the Chairperson, University Council, Mrs. Lorna Makerere, the Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, board members, Global Leadership Summit, board members, Life Ministry Uganda, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon to you all. My name is Kanyeste Julian, a recent student of Makerere University, awaiting graduation due January with a Bachelor of Science in Quantitative Economics at the School of Statistics and Planning. Mama, following a well-pronounced adage that education doesn't stop within the four promises of class, I was honored to serve the Students' Fraternity as the GRC School of Statistics and Planning, but also as the Deputy Guild Speaker of Makerere University. It's not surprising that through leadership that I got is how I got a rare chance to be part of the pioneer class of the Emerging Leaders Program, an opportunity I'll forever be grateful for. Like Mahatma Gandhi says, morality is the basis of things and truth is the substance of all morality. Being part of Emerging Leaders Program was a game changer, a chance to reckon with for years to come. From the expertise of our dear facilitators to the well-tailored curriculum, every chance of the training was a peak to perfection. Among my most valuable picks from the training was the intersection between spirituality, morality, and the broader concept of leadership. In this day and age, a lot has to be done to leadership. In this age, a lot has to be done in leadership as it will go along to cleanse it in some of outward defects. Our able facilitators took us on a journey to reevaluate our leadership choices, styles, and also diversify some of our misconceptions about servant leadership. Going forward, I believe that majority of us can attest that Emerging Leaders Program has come at a time when our generation is facing a crisis in a couple of things to do. For example, the high rates of drug abuse, the high rates of HIV among us, the young people. But needless to say, it's not yet late. I believe we can rectify this. One of the key takeaways of the Emerging Leaders Program was the clarion call to us participating students to go out and be agents of change. Against this background, my colleagues and I have made it a point to reach out to those who have not yet received the ELP message in our various constituencies. For example, a number of us have shared the message to different students in our circles, our different colleges, and different halls of residence. Some even went ahead beyond the premises of Makerere to St. Francis Hospital and Zambia Training School, where my colleagues emphasized the need to live a moral, spiritual, but purposeful life. To my fellow young people, I urge us to stand on the 4 pillars of Emerging Leaders Program. And that is the sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused. Because in us, these will sow seeds of resilience, responsibility, and also respect in our lives. In the words of 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, they tell us, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but be an example to all believers in speech, in conduct, in love, faith, and purity." Conclusively, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to you, Mama, and everyone behind the Emerging Leaders Program for thinking about saving a generation by sowing a seed of morality, spirituality, and hence building upright people. We are indeed grateful, and our pledge to you is that our message will not stop with us, but it will be shared even to generations to come. This is an investment not only for us, but also for the future. I thank you, and I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Ms. Julian. And thank you for calling upon the students as well to be a part of this campaign, and for thanking Mama. I think I speak for all of us collectively when I thank you for this transformative leadership, kind of leadership that sees a problem and wants to solve it, especially starting from the youth who are the brighter future of this country. Thank you so much. I would love to call to the podium next Dr. Ronald Semialo, a lecturer at the College of Natural Sciences, who's also going to represent the lecturers that attended the program I talked about earlier on in January. You're most welcome, Doctor. Hey.
First Lady and Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Chairperson, University Council, and distinguished members of Council, esteemed academics and government officials, members of the board and staff of Global Leadership Summit, members of the board and staff of Life Ministry Uganda, the Students Guild and the Students Body, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ronald Paul Dumba Semialo. I am a lecturer in the Department of Zoology, Entomology and Fisheries Sciences in the College of Natural Sciences. It is with great honor that I stand before you today to discuss the transformative journey embarked upon through the Emerging Leaders Program. This initiative, which saw 33 dedicated lecturers who are actually all here today, most of them, from 6 colleges come together, represents a significant stride in educational excellence and societal impact. Over the course of the week, these lecturers delved into the intricacies of the Emerging Leaders Program curriculum with an academic lens, and this curriculum comprises of 5 comprehensive modules which are aligned with the objectives of the SAFE campaign, which has been elaborated on. The curriculum manual, which we received at the end of our training, which we were exposed to, is not merely a document. It was meticulously prepared with commitment to instructional excellence. The lecturers who joined this program were not chosen at random. They are the pioneers who yearn to extend their influence beyond the confines of traditional classwork. They brought with them unique challenges, shared experiences, and were ready to collaboratively work towards solving the issues that plague our student community. It became clear right from the start that this Emerging Leaders training that we were going through was not just beneficial for our students, but for also us as individuals. As educators, parents, public servants, enriching our lives and roles within society. A moving example that I would like to share from this program, the relevance of this program, is the pervasive issue of addiction. When you hear the word addiction, you're thinking, many people you will think of maybe drug abuse, sexual addiction, addictions to pornography, but we're exposed to something called digital cocaine, which I think is an addiction that a large majority of people, at least by global figures, do face. It is a pervasive addiction that affects our relationships, sexuality, finances, education, transcending age and social boundaries. The Emerging Leaders Program is not just another academic course. It's a catalyst for personal transformation, empowering each individual to reach their fullest potential for the betterment of themselves and the community. As we anticipate the broader implementation of this program, we, the trained lecturers, have already begun to sow its seeds within our spheres of influence. First of all, in our homes, and then in our classrooms, even in our staff meetings. At Makerere University, for example, the gender mainstreaming department has already woven these components of the Emerging Leaders Program into the fabric of its training of students during orientation, particularly on the issues of health education. In closing, I urge the management, the Senate, and all stakeholders to champion this cause, ensuring that every student has the opportunity to benefit from the Emerging Leaders program's profound impact. And together we can forge a future where education transcends knowledge transfer and becomes a cornerstone of personal and societal transformation. Thank you for listening.
The microphone was like... Today I have truly confirmed I'm down to earth. I've been humbled. But thank you so much, Dr. Ronald, for that. I think it's really important that we involve the staff in this implementation because they spend quite a good amount of time with the students. But one thing that really captured my attention was the fact that you said we have to start from home. I think people forget that. We've been singing this since we were children. Charity begins at home, charity begins at home. And that's a really important aspect of it as we go forward. The next person I'm going to invite, at least, okay. The microphone may not go as high, so I feel a bit better, but of course, he's bigger, way bigger. I'm inviting a very renowned administrator and educationist and architecture. Said that, did you know you had someone big there? You're going to see him. I'm inviting someone who is a champion of innovative research, academic excellence, and just institutional transformation. Allow me and join me to invite the Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Barnabas Nawanga.
The Honorable Mama Kataaha Museveni, First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, the Chairperson of Council, Mrs. Lona Magara, the Vice Chairperson of Council, Right Honorable Dan Kidega, members of the University Council, the Deputy Vice Chancellors and members of management, the Principal of MOOCs, our partners in the Emerging Leaders Program, the Guild President, Vice Guild President, and the entire Guild leadership, members of staff, our gallant students, invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to Makerere University to this important event. In a special way, I welcome you, Mama Janet Museveni, back to your alma mater. Thank you for your unwavering efforts to improve the standards of education and sports in our country. And may I take this opportunity to congratulate you for the many wins that Uganda has registered in the field of sports recently, making Uganda a sports powerhouse. Similarly, I thank you for your continued support and guidance to Makerere University in our effort to become a research-led university in order to contribute to the development of our beloved country better. Needless to say, we have to thank you for the support in the infrastructure developments at Makerere University, particularly the reconstruction of our main building. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one of the topics that dominates all meetings of university leaders globally currently is the effect of COVID-19 on the mental health of the students and staff. COVID-19 left a devastating effect on higher education, and many universities have reported an upsurge in mental health and substance abuse among students and staff. The stress that follows these developments has in many cases led to the loss of the ability by students to study and staff to carry on with their duties. Cases of suicide among students have been recorded globally. Needless to say, it is an urgent necessity to tackle this problem in order to ensure the health of our emerging leaders. I therefore must take this opportunity to thank you, Honorable Minister, for taking leadership in the fight to save our emerging leaders from destruction. I also thank my colleague, Professor Henry Alinetre, and the program management team, as well as the Guild leadership, particularly the Guild President and the Vice Guild President, my daughter, for their commendable efforts in this cause. I must commend particularly the Vice Guild President, who is our manager of ceremonies today, because she actually instituted a program to address the problem of drug abuse among students. The Guild leadership has displayed a high level of maturity, and they have implemented activities that complement the efforts of the Emerging Leaders Program, particularly the fight against substance abuse, and I congratulate them. Makerere University is committed to ensuring the safety of her students and staff, and Council has approved the safeguarding policy, and the counseling and career guidance policy is in the offing. Management will make every effort necessary to ensure the success of the Emerging Leaders Program. Let me end my welcome remarks by once again thanking you, Mama Janet Museveni, for your unwavering leadership and for taking off time to personally launch the Emerging Leaders Program. I thank you all as we build for the future.
Another round of applause for the man that makes things happen at Makerere University. I know that you work with the team. I'd like to appreciate you, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, and your powerful team. We've had, I think, over 100 or even over 150 meetings with your Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Alinetre, of course with the co-chair, Mrs. Kaija. But I still remember that first meeting we had with you in your office. Thank you very much for seeing this vision, Mama's vision, come to pass. Thank you once again. Let's appreciate Makerere oil. Yeah, let's appreciate Makerere oil, Makerere oil, ELP oil, Mama oil. Mama Oe. Thank you. Mama, that is how we do it with the young people. Let's appreciate our mother with a round of applause, ululation, hand clap, everything. Mommy, thank you very much for your love and your heart to us, the young people, and the generation that is after us. Right about now, we've prepared a clip, and I know that the task force has worked tirelessly, the ELP media team has worked tirelessly to put this together. And I'd like to request that the media team can play for us this short clip, giving us an overview of the Emerging Leaders Program thus far. Media.
A new dawn arises for Makerere University as the Emerging Leaders Program takes shape, bringing hope for safe lifestyles in Uganda's oldest university. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Kataaha Museveni, has put in place a campaign to keep the university community sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused, so as to address the prevalent forces of corruption and immorality that plague this generation. In October 2023, the Emerging Leaders Program was inaugurated in a meeting with leaders from the three convening institutions, Makerere University, Life Ministry, and the Global Leadership Summit Uganda. During the meeting, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Kataaha Museveni, shared her vision and the burden on her heart. At this meeting, the roadmap of the Emerging Leaders Program and SAFE campaign was discussed, eventually leading to the rollout of several events, namely, a 3-day orientation workshop was held in October 2023 under the theme, Empowering Tomorrow's Leaders, Nurturing Character, Inspiring Change. This training focused on 60 Makerere University teaching staff and 185 student guild leaders. Facilitators from the three convening institutions delivered insightful and engaging sessions. In January 2024, under the theme, Empowering Emerging Leaders for Makerere University and Beyond, 140 Makerere University Student Guild leaders underwent a values-based leadership training in Jinja Municipality. The student leaders were equipped with knowledge and skills in leadership, integrity, stewardship, character building, HIV/AIDS awareness, life skills, risk reduction behavior, mentorship, as well as teaching and learning method.
I also realized that the practical way of teaching is really very, very impactful. Well, teachers have to be lively in whatever they're doing. I realized that we had skits and like all the students were so excited. You would see that, yes, they're getting something. You know, when teachers give us a lot of theory work, in most cases we forget these things, but when you see something being acted on stage, it really sticks in your long-term memory and you're able to remember everything they said.
A businessman that's trustworthy will not falsify financial documents. In other words, you may have, most times you're not alone in the business. You have maybe funders, suppliers, something like that. So you do not inflate the balance sheets or the receipts in a bid to get more money for you to be trustworthy.
You can really see that all the impact, all the change that happened was because of one man who stood on the truth, spreading the word of God. So even if you are one, honestly, you can create an impact. You can influence the society and say, this is the truth, leave the body side.
So in case you are not corrupt, please remain like that. Don't be like other people are corrupt, what and what. Do good not until those ones who don't know the truth find out the truth, and all of us shall be set free.
Furthermore, a curriculum teachers training for lecturers largely drawn from Makerere University was held in Jinja in February 2024. The lecturers were provided with information and skills to support the rollout of the Emerging Leaders Program for students in Makerere University.
We have had a lot of discussions. First, we discussed quite a number of issues relating to HIV/AIDS and how it affects the youth, and what would be our role for us as lecturers and in leadership to alleviate these issues in the university.
As a teacher, as a lecturer, I am moved to even do more. I know it's important now that we need to care. For example, if my student doesn't show up, I need to know why, because they could be going through a lot. My point of intrigue was when I learned that some of the statistics that are out there on drug abuse, it's not just statistics, these are real issues, and we need to pay attention to them.
A few months later, in June 2024, the First Lady and Minister of Education, Honorable Janet Kataaha Museveni, hosted chief executives from various institutions and government agencies to a meeting at State House, Nakasero.
Let me begin by truly welcoming you to Nakasero State House, which is your national home, and thank you for honoring our invitation to discuss how we can hold hands together as we implement the Emerging Leaders Program.
At this stakeholder engagement, the participants discussed the SAFE campaign and were invited to join the First Lady in the program's implementation. This effort was met with resounding financial and technical support to the program.
For this particular campaign, we are going to offer communication and media support worth 100 million shillings across our platforms.
Today we are here as different organizations, but each of us, we can provide even more than 5 mentors to these young people and across Uganda.
We'll make sure to give it the visibility that is needed. So you'll use all our 15 programs to reach these young people, to reach their parents, to reach our religious leaders, to reach the gamblers, so that we can turn the clock.
The university community now looks forward to the launch of the Emerging Leaders Program and the SAFE campaign by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataaha Museveni, in September 2024. With the unfolding of each event under the Emerging Leaders Program, we witness a glimmer of light at the end of this dark tunnel, bringing hope and great opportunities to the youth of Uganda.
Mama, that is a snapshot of what has transpired, and we heartily appreciate all the support that you and the stakeholders have given and are giving. I'd like to request our NGOs and the stakeholders of the Emerging Leaders Program, if you could just stand up, and we acknowledge you in this place. Kindly stand up, all of us. From the safe, sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused. Let's stand and appreciate. Thank you very much. You may have a seat. Mama, we have some of the facilitators of the Emerging Leaders Program that facilitated these trainings present. And I want to request you to stand up also where you are. Yes, very, very excited. Mama, one special one that is standing is someone that is known to you. That is Dr. Eunice Kateshumba, who is my mother, standing right there, please. Yes, right there. I can't not mention her, because if it was not her, I would not be here. Thank you very much. Yes, she's one of the facilitators of Life at the Crossroads program. Thank you, Mama. Mama, I'd like to invite someone special to us. She has given of her life to this program. She has led us, she has directed us, she has showed us the way at all times. She is Mrs. Barbara Kaija, Editor-in-Chief of the Vision Group, a journalist, educationist, a wife, a mother, a grandmother. Welcome with me, Mrs. Kaija.
Mama, we are so pleased to have you. You're very, very welcome to Makerere and to the Emerging Leaders Program. The First Lady of the Republic of Uganda and the Minister of Education, our Mama, Mrs. Kataaha Museveni, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Permanent Secretaries and Heads of Agencies, the Chair of the Council, Makerere University, Mrs. Lona Magara, the Deputy Chair of the Council, Honorable Dan Kidega, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, all the Vice Chancellors from other universities or their representatives, the Chair of the Emerging Leaders Program and the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Arinaitwe Henry, distinguished academic staff of Makerere University, and distinguished academic staff from the other universities, all of you distinguished stakeholders of the Emerging Leaders Program, the student body and the university community, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the launch of the Emerging Leaders Program. This program was born at this great university due to the heavy burden which you carried, Mama. After observing the life and destiny-threatening challenges that our youth were facing. In response, you initiated the Emerging Leaders Program among the university students to address the crucial issue of corruption, HIV/AIDS, and substance abuse among the youth. These pervasive problems have reached alarming levels, significantly impacting not only the health and academic performance of our youth, but also the quality of graduates who enter the labor market. The ELP is a life skills program aiming to foster character and mindset change among the youth and to influence the present and shape the future of our nation. The SAFE campaign is a core component of the ELP program. SAFE stands for sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused. The ELP is being piloted at this great university, but it will grow to other universities and other tertiary institutions. Mama, we know that you already have similar programs with similar objectives in the secondary schools and primary schools, and we thank God for you for always feeling the nation's heartbeat and stepping in time. Why the university students? Uganda is a young country with 73% of our population aged under 30. If anything destroys them, we have lost our posterity. The university students are at their most productive age and the workforce that is building our country. So we must make sure they are safe. The Emerging Leaders Program is an empowerment initiative that focuses on values, character development, and life skills. We realize that our youth may graduate with academic degrees, but they need the right set of values and character to succeed in life. As we started on the ELP pilot program, a baseline survey was conducted at this university with a sample size of 473 first-year students and 1,041 continuing students. They were picked from different colleges and faculties. As I report the findings of the baseline survey, I would like to put things in perspective by starting with a major positive finding on sexual choices. The students, were asked different questions and they responded to them. So this is a survey that is done by response. The survey revealed that 53.7% of the first-year students and 46.7% of the continuing students were making positive sexual choices despite the challenges and pressures that try to compromise them. There is a large portion of students who have remained faithful to positive values. There are a number of students who are still virgins, who are abstaining, and who are faithful to their marital partners. Among the interviewed first-year students, 37.8% were virgins. And yes, and I intentionally picked this out to show you that it's not everybody who is gone. And among the continuing students, 36.6% were virgins. And an equally good number were secondary virgins, meaning they could have lost their virginity, but they have made a decision to be pure again. However, the study established significant vices in the behavioral choices of many other students. The baseline study established that 46.3% of the first-year students interviewed and 53.3% of the continuing students have been making negative sexual choices driven by peer and financial pressure, among other reasons. In the study, at least 103 students, that is 13.5%, believed that they could have been exposed to HIV in Makerere by having sex with a student who was already HIV positive. 27% of the 5-year students had more than 5 sexual partners in 1 year, with 11% having 10 partners or more in 1 year. 32% of the continuing students had more than 5 sexual partners in 1 year, with 12% having 10 partners or more in 1 year. I want to skip my speech a bit so that I can get attention. I'm walking in murky waters, discussing research findings at this great hill. Fortunately, I am a product of this great hill. Both my first degree and my master's in education I got from this great hill. The distinguished scholars like Professor Dr. J. Opolot, may he rest in peace, and my professor, Dr. Baguma, and many others taught us that further empirical studies can always be done to confirm or negate a research finding. I challenge the scholars here today to pick this up and do more studies and to please share their findings. For now, please listen to the baseline survey. Drug abuse. 57 first-year students, which is 6.8%, have used and are still using drugs. Another 17 students, that is 3.6, used drugs before but reported having stopped. Of the continuing students, 80%, which is 7.7, are using drugs. Another 69, which is 6.6%, reported they had used drugs before but had now stopped. Mama, the drug problem affects both male and female students in almost equal measures. That's what the baseline survey shows. Students under financial stress. At least 9 first-year students, 1.9%, and 22 continuing students, 2.1% of the sample, admitted to losing their tuition and upkeep money to betting and gambling. This affects both female and male students too. Students go into betting with the hope of multiplying their money, especially when they have a few wins. Some 131 students, that is about 12.6% of continuing students, said they were extremely stressed with pressing debts and money lenders were after them. Of course, that does affect their academic performance. Academic integrity. 65 students, that is 6.2%, and here I say 27 males and 38 females have been involved in malpractices of bribing faculty to change their grades. 17 students, all females, mentioned disappearing marks, quote unquote, as one of the most shocking, stressful, and frustrating experiences at the university. They identified practices of sexual decadence, drug and alcohol abuse, gambling, and financial stress as significant because they affect their academic performance and quality of life. Why Makerere? What the data reveals is not very different from other tertiary institutions, nor is it different from what we are seeing in our homes and in our communities. Makerere is the epitome of our Ugandan society. If it is here, it means the rest of the country could even be worse. Makerere leads the thought process for the nation, and we commend this great university and its leadership for accepting to take on the challenge and to roll out the ELP. This program will address the challenges that threaten to annihilate our most productive population. Some of our Ugandan children have grown up in gated homes. And you could be here and you have a gate and you think that your children are safe. But these vices cannot be locked out. They are always lurking in the background. This means that none of us can afford to fold our arms and rest, or to hit our pillows and sleep while a whole generation is being wiped out under our very eyes. All these challenges affect the productivity of our youth and the productivity of our homes, our communities, and the whole nation. Mama, the documentary we have just seen, has highlighted some of the things that we have been able to do so far in response to this challenge. But I will just briefly mention that October 2023, the Emerging Leaders Program was introduced to the university students and to the Guild. and to the lecturers during an orientation workshop at Esela. The theme was empowering tomorrow's leaders, nurturing character, and inspiring change. 120 student leaders and 60 lecturers attended. The second activity was the curriculum training, which we have seen on the video. The students had their bit on January 7th to 12th, 2024, and the lecturers had their part on January 28th to February 2nd, 2024. 38 lecturers attended, and the students were about 150. During the Makerere Orientation Week, which was this August 2024, the ELP team was here with multiple stakeholders who already stood up to support the integration and development of over 2,000 first-year students. These efforts led to 1,222 freshmen signing up for the ELP activities. Some of the students are here, and if you're here, you could stand up. The stakeholders included the lecturers who served as ELP ambassadors across all universities, colleges, and the 14 non-government organizations who were grouped under the SAFE campaign. These NGOs set up tents to support the students. Some were doing HIV testing, some were doing counseling, some were talking about the finances and supporting the students to know how to go through the university. I would like to request, because we've not been working alone, I would like to request the ELP Secretariat, the lecturers, our partners, the NGOs, to all stand up for recognition, please. The ELP Secretariat includes Professor Arinaitwe. He is the chair, actually. Thank you so much, Professor. He's such a committed gentleman. Thank you so much. This week has been codenamed the Safe Week at Makerere, and we've had a number of activities. We started off with a film at the Yusuf Lule facility. This was coordinated by the students. Edgar Stewart, I don't know whether he's around. He coordinated it, and an estimated 400 students attended. It was a value-based film. The ELP program also conducted at least 6 series of safe talks across the various colleges at the university to engage students on topics related to personal growth, academic excellence, and life skills. I would like to salute the teachers and the lecturers who conducted these, because over 600 students attended and benefited. The SAFE talks were instrumental in fostering a sense of responsibility, discipline, and resilience among the students, and we pray that these programs will continue. We believe that with more support from all the stakeholders, especially our beloved lecturers who interact with the students every day, we can reach many more students till we reach the whole university and all the other universities and tertiary institutions. Mama, on the 12th of June, of course, you facilitated a stakeholders meeting at State House Nakasero, and 65 top executives from government agencies, private sector, civil society, and other organizations were there, and they committed to support the SAFE campaign, and some of them are here and they've already been asked to stand. Many of these stakeholders have supported us in the SAFE campaign week and they also supported us in the orientation week. As we move into the next phase of the Emerging Leaders Program, we call on even more support. We request every stakeholder to give their life, an acronym for leadership, influence, finances, and expertise to support the ELP. With everybody's involvement, it will be possible to roll out to other universities and to other tertiary institutions. Mama, we appreciate you greatly for supporting this program. We do not take it for granted. You looked at the pain of the nation and you've given it your best, the resources, the prayers, the guidance. We really appreciate it, Mama. 1 year into the ELP pilot program, we are seeing that the devastation is much bigger than we had imagined. We cannot afford to fight in silos. The challenges our youth are faced with do not know tribe, religion, or class. We all need to rally together as a country to turn around the tide. We thank you, Mama, for leading the clarion call. To our beloved students, I would like to say that you are our posterity. Without you, we are lost, our families are lost, and our nation cannot be. We are all here because we care about your future. By the mercies of God, we challenge each of you to be an active participant in this program. Even if you are safe and are already living positively, this program still needs you. Because with the knowledge you acquire, you can help save a friend or a brother or a sister. I end with a Bible verse from Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus says the Lord, stand by the roads and look, and ask for the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. For God and my country. Thank you so much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.
Webale muno Watoki for that wonderful presentation speech, giving us the report on this far that we have come as the Emerging Leaders Program. Statistics were read from the baseline survey. I had some people clapping, some people, 32.6, 46.7. The reason that we are here and that this program is being launched, that perhaps we can get closer to the 100 of those that are not indulging in some of these destructive habits. I want us to appreciate the co-chair on behalf of the task force that has just given us the remarks. Let's appreciate Mrs. Kaija once again. I want to bring our attention and the media's attention to an art piece for the SAFE campaign, Emerging Leaders Program that has been done by Mr. Roland Tibirusia and Mr. Julius Virunji that are standing next to it. The camera people, if you could just point to the photo. Mama, that piece has been done for you, for us, for the program, right here at this venue at Freedom Square. And yes, we appreciate Roland and Julius. Yes, let's appreciate the art. If only we could hear from them an interpretation, but at least we can see Mama. We can see the ivory tower in its glory. You can see it right here. And the logos of Makerere, Emerging Leaders, Life Ministry, Global Leadership Summit. Thank you very much, Roland and Julius. God bless you. Once again, let's appreciate them. We are moving well with our program, and as I've already introduced, the people that have given their life, given their all to pour their lives into others. We are committed this academic year that we will raise and reach 100 other trainers. Dr. Semialo was here, Julian was here, and we will have, at a given time, we'll have a representation of the 140 student leaders that were trained and the 33 lecturers that were trained will come over, and Mama is going to commission them at a given point. But I want to say that this is simply a launch. So now the real work begins. And we are counting on each and every one of us that is here, and many more that are not here, but we represent in this place. So right about now, I'd like to take the singular honor to invite Mrs. Lorna Magara, the University Council Chairperson. And maybe before she comes, we have been seated for a while. I request us to stand up. Let us stand up and at least do one thing or two. I don't know whether performing arts and film are still here. Are they here? Okay, let's have our seats. Let's have our seats. Thank you. At least you have allowed the blood to, to flow a little bit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The chairperson of the University Council needs no introduction. She's a mother, a grandmother, an educationist for many years. Many years. And her heart is in the transformation of young people. So permit me to invite Mrs. Lorna Magara to give us her remarks. Please join me.
Thank you, Ellen and Eva. You make us proud. Thank you. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, the Honorable Mama Janet Museveni, our beloved Mama, members of Parliament present, the Right Honorable Dan Kidega, the Vice Chairperson of the Council, the Vice Chancellor and the Vice Chancellors of other universities present, and your representatives, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Finance and Administration, and Chairperson of the Emerging Leaders Program Task Force, Professor Henry Adineitwe, members of the University Council, members of management and staff, the institutional partners Life Ministry Uganda, represented by Mr. David Wataba, and the Global Leadership Summit, represented by Bishop Joshua Rwere, the Deputy RCC Kawempe Haji Njuki Nuru, and all the other stakeholders of ELP, the Guild President and all student leaders present, the ELP and SAFE champions, the media houses represented here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mama, it is always such a delight and great honor to welcome you to Makerere University, your alma mater. You have continually championed wholesome education, and we truly appreciate you for that. Your passion to raise godly and value-based citizens of this nation is anchored in your passion for this education system, and definitely for Makerere University. And Uganda has indeed made her mark on the world's sports stage that the Vice Chancellor made mention of as he congratulated you and thanked you for your work, even on the sports stage of life. In this regard, I would like to invite all of us to take a moment of silence in honor of Rebecca Cheptegei, our recently deceased sports champion. Let's just take a moment in honor of her. Thank you. We also want to thank the Parliament of Uganda and indeed the international community that took time to honor her memory. We thank you. Mama, it's such an honor to stand before you this morning as we gather to launch the Emerging Leaders Program, Your Brainchild. This program was birthed to curb societal moral degradation and refocus the young people on values and life principles to secure their future. Thank you once again for your heart for the children of this nation. Your visionary leadership continues to guide and instruct us as we work with the young people under our care. Since February 2023, at the inauguration of the current University Council, when you entrusted us with the crucial task of nurturing value-based students, the ELP coordination team of Life Ministry Global Leadership Summit, together with Makerere University, has been tirelessly working. Mama, your vision, unwavering support and commitment have been instrumental in our progress. And the Bible has a lot to teach us about visionary leadership. Nehemiah, the king's cupbearer, burdened by the broken down walls of Jerusalem, through prayer, strategic planning, and mobilizing of the people, successfully led the rebuilding of the wall in 52 days. Mama, the ELP strategic plans have been laid out, and the work has started in earnest, undergirded by prayer. This is a legacy project that will outlive us, so we must plan for its continuity. We must continue to raise generations of value-based people committed to serving and transforming their communities. The development of Uganda, and indeed Africa, hinges on the quality of its people. Therefore, the ELP is a strategic tool for this cause, with a fully fledged behavioral change program, curriculum, and messaging campaigns. Among these, the SAFE campaign, the sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused campaign stands out for its potential to make significant impact. In my interactions with the young people who formed the inaugural cohort of ELP champions, I was deeply challenged by their desire to learn through interaction with the older generation and by their courage in talking about how many get caught in these dark spaces. It is crucial that we maintain these conversations and provide mentorship and share life lessons. In this regard, I'm happy to announce that beyond the official launch today, we will be implementing robust activities and initiatives. And these include, 1, an ELP mandatory audited course that has been developed, and students will be required to take it over 3 years of their study. The course will soon be presented to the Senate for approval. In the meantime, thank you. In the meantime, short courses have been developed and are ready to be rolled out. Secondly, we are also rolling out safe communities, beginning with the establishment of safe clubs at halls of residences and students' hostels. Third, a calendar of Choto conversations throughout the academic year and safe talks at the college level with experts selected to facilitate learning sessions. Just to mention that this Saturday, I will be meeting the students around a choto for these kinds of conversations, and I would like to invite as many of you as possible to please join me in these conversations. They are great opportunities to interact with the students. Number 4, the most important intervention that we are launching today is strengthening our community of safe champions among students and teaching staff. These champions are not just figureheads, but are fully mandated to act as ambassadors and champions for the Emerging Leaders Program. They will be at the forefront of our efforts, leading by example and inspiring others to join our cause. Given that we are in the internet age, we have also invested in digital platforms to interact with a wider youth and student community and to disseminate safe messages and information. The Emerging Leaders website will be a vital platform for resources, information, and services for parents, students, teachers, and the general public. In addition to the website, we will leverage social media platforms and the other digital platforms to ensure our message reaches as many people as possible. The media campaign will be run in the mainstream media. I therefore express our deepest appreciation for the various media houses, specifically the Vision Group, Nation Media Group, Next Media, and Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, which are giving us airtime to run our media campaigns. Please give them a round of applause. Allow me, Mama, to express my most profound appreciation for the leadership of Professor Henry Alineitwe and Mrs. Barbara Kaija. They have diligently served as the task force co-chairs that have brought this program to life. Yes, please give them a round of applause. Along with them, the task force members and the secretariat have committed their time and energy to this cause. We are now at the point of launching a full-year program with plans to extend it to other universities. Their dedication and hard work have been truly admirable, powerfully demonstrating service above self. We truly thank you. It is now my greatest honor and privilege to invite you, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Mama Janet Kataaha Museveni, to speak to us and to formally launch the Emerging Leaders Program here at Makerere University. God bless you.
Honorable members of Parliament, if there are any here, the Chairperson, Makerere University Council, Mrs. Lona Magara, and members of the Council, the Deputy Chair, Mr. Chidega, the Vice Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Nawangwe, and the management team, the Chairperson, Emerging Leaders Program, Professor Henry Alineitwe, the co-chair of the Emerging Leaders Program, Mrs. Barbara Kaija, the leadership of Life Ministry, Uganda, led by Mr. David Wataba, the leadership of the Global Leadership Summit, led by Bishop Joshua Rwere and Mrs. Betty Byanyima, guild presidents and all student leaders, emerging leaders and safe campaign champions, distinguished leaders, and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am happy to join you as we launch the Emerging Leaders Program today at Makerere University campus. This is a day that proves God's faithfulness to those who pray and believe in Him. Because what we are here to celebrate and launch as a national youth program only started as a heavy burden in my heart, and I shared the burden with the current Makerere University Council in February 2023, as you've just heard from all my colleagues who have been working with me. Today, we are gathered here in these numbers under the huge tree which came out of a mustard seed now called the Emerging Leaders Program. It is needless to say, therefore, that this is a program that I hold dear in my heart because it has the potential to nurture the young generation of Uganda's leaders and to shape the destiny of our nation. Over the past few years, we have all experienced our young people grapple with many challenges, such as alcohol, drug and other substance abuse, sexual immorality and gambling. And I understand gambling is spreading widely among our youth nationwide, as you heard from Barbara Kaija, especially through what is commonly known as sports betting that has led to many university students dropping out of school. For a long time, this state of affairs has been a real burden in my heart, and I have desired to help our young people rise above it, what has been the norm, with university students falling prey to negative peer pressure and societal forces that compromise their innocence, leading them to conform to a lifestyle of immorality and a lack of focus on their education and life's goals. I therefore thank the leaders of Makerere University, the Global Leadership Summit, Uganda, and Life Ministry, Uganda, for taking up the challenge to craft a program that would instill character development and leadership skills in university students in this country. The Emerging Leaders Program has now brought us the hope of turning the tide in our universities by nurturing a new generation of morally upright leaders who will lead Uganda to a prosperous and corrupt-free nation. This program is not just about imparting leadership skills, but about the total transformation of lives through the instilling of values. Furthermore, through this program, young people are being prepared to make the right choices in life that will safeguard the health and well-being while enabling them to succeed in their academics. You've heard what the SAFE campaign, which we are proud to launch today, means. The Emerging Leaders Program, it builds on those 4 acronyms following values, and it goes to say safe standard for students who are sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused. You now know what SAFE stands for, all of you. These 4 critical pillars guide students toward living balanced, purposeful, and successful lives. Through the SAFE campaign, students are equipped with practical knowledge and skills to navigate life and address the challenges that they confront on a daily basis. The goal is to empower them to be leaders and responsible citizens who make choices that reflect integrity, stewardship, a great work ethic, and a love for their country and servant leadership in their circles of influence, while at the university and beyond. As you have heard from previous speakers, the program has already trained more than 130 students and 40 lecturers who now serve as facilitators of this program, as well as role models who guide and mentor their peers as they pursue their academics, while navigating the complexities of university life and beyond. Today, we take this initiative even further with the official launch of the Emerging Leaders Program curriculum, which will now be part of an audited course at Makerere University, as you've just heard from Lorna Magara. This groundbreaking move institutionalizes leadership and character development education, ensuring that every student who passes through the university will not only live with knowledge, but also with a well-developed character and leadership skills. Furthermore, my desire is that this program expands beyond Makerere University to all universities, if you like, across Uganda. And I pray that God will make that possible. Therefore, this is not just a Makerere University initiative, but a national initiative that seeks to impact every young Ugandan in higher education. In addition to launching the ELP curriculum today, we commissioned the first cohort of trained SAFE champions who are students on the front lines of promoting these values among their peers. These young people represent the future of Uganda, and their commitment to the SAFE pillars will undoubtedly influence a broader student body in positive and lasting ways. I'm also pleased to know that you're working on the Emerging Leaders Program website, which will serve as a resource hub, providing students, lecturers, and partners with access to essential leadership content, interactive tools, and updates on the program's progress. In this digital age, it is important that we meet our youth where they are best suited to engage the content we desire to share with them, and that is online, while ensuring they are equipped with the knowledge and tools to lead responsible lives in their communities. I therefore pray that this will be completed and launched as soon as possible. To the students gathered here today, you are the torchbearers of this program. I urge you to embrace these teachings for your own benefit, as well as for the benefit of your peers, your communities, and your country. Indeed, your future depends on the choices you make from this day going forward. My prayer is that you will choose to become leaders who are committed to positive change, to fighting addictions, prioritizing education, and to live purposeful lives. Please remember the great investment your parents, guardians, and the government has put in you, in your education, this far, and the immense expectations they have in each one of you. So do not waste your opportunity for education by prioritizing short-term personal gratification over future opportunities and your career paths. Please say no to sexual immorality, to being lured into drinking alcohol, and indulging in substance abuse. I call upon you to honor your bodies, Refrain from those peer groups and vices that defile you and lead you to compromise your morals and values. I would now like to give you some examples that you can always remember. They all happen to be biblical examples which talk of young people all in life struggles as they grew up fighting what I can call destiny destroyers. One that you may know very well, I believe, is Joseph. I'm sure all of you have heard about Joseph, who had a destiny ordained by God to become a leader and in time to save the entire nation of Israel. However, as a slave in Potiphar's house and doing a good job at what he was entrusted with, a woman, the mistress of that house, seduced him to get him into illicit sex. But thankfully, Joseph did not entertain those temptations because he feared God, and so he fled. He fled from that woman. That's what we tell you, to flee from people who want to attract you into doing what is wrong. So while Joseph's big dreams could have ended right there in that Potiphar's bed, Joseph defeated that temptation because of an upright character. Now, similarly, there was another young man, another promising leader by the names of Samson. This one, while he was promising in that he could single-handedly defeat an entire army, nonetheless, he met his defeat at the knees of a woman he was not even married to. Another young man yet, called Gehazi, did not only destroy his destiny, but he ended up with leprosy. Gehazi was an emerging leader. He served the great prophet Elisha, but he chose to run quick gain. He gave in to corruption. His master Elisha refused the gifts that Naaman offered him after he was healed of leprosy. Gehazi ran after Naaman and lied that his master Elisha had sent him for those gifts. He took the gifts, but he ended up with leprosy. While Elisha served Elijah and ended up with a double portion of the anointing on Elijah, Gehazi ended up with leprosy. Now, you know, we talk a lot in this country about corruption. And you must be careful to understand what that word really means. Corruption. And flee from corruption. Therefore, if you compare these three emerging leaders, all young, promising, with God-ordained destinies, I will now let you choose which of the three characters you want to follow. Just like Moses, the servant of God, spoke to the children of Israel, saying, in quotes, "This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live." This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. Now I say to you, choose life. As I conclude, let me extend my deepest appreciation to our esteemed partners. You have tirelessly worked alongside the students to provide services and information to address the challenges that they are faced with. Without your vision and support, the Emerging Leaders Program would not have been so competently rolled out. I appreciate the leaders of Makerere University, of Life Ministry, Uganda, and the Global Leadership Summit, Uganda, for your unwavering dedication to this cause. To the individuals in these institutions, Mrs. Lona Magara, Professor Nawangwe, Professor Rinaitwe, Mrs. Barbara Kaija, Bishop Rwere, Mr. David Wataba, and Mrs. Betty Byanyima, I thank you so much for giving fit to this program. I am confident that together we will continue to grow this initiative and to reach out to more young people across the nation as we take a bold step towards a prosperous and productive future. Together, we will build a Uganda that is ethical and resilient, with a generation that is so full of promise. So let us walk this path with hope and determination as we look forward to realizing a crop of university students equipped and prepared to make a remarkable difference across this nation. It is now my singular honor and pleasure to commission the SAFE campaign champions and to launch the ELP curriculum. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mama. I want to, at this point, Mama, request that let's have our seats, invite the SAFE champions that are going to be commissioned. We have 10 student leaders that are going to represent the 140 and the 5 lecturers that are going to represent the 33 lecturers. We have Ojune Emmanuel, Abine Ronald, Sevina Solomon, Kanyesije Julian, Nampera Jovia, Dora Atukunda, Kayira John Mary, Mwebaze Bruce, Ainomcha Crispus, and Sekide Andrew. Just stand on the red carpet facing Mama. Just come over here on the red carpet. Students, come quickly. And then the lecturers, we have Dr. Michael Kizito, Mr. Eric Tumwesije, Dr. Ronald Semialo, Dr. Christine Mpyangu Mbabazi, and Dr. Sarah Nachijoba. Please kindly come and just facing Mama. And you're already pinned. We have the Emerging Leaders program pin. You are meant to pin yourselves, but since you've already pinned, just stand facing Mama right there in a single queue. Thank you, thank you. The rest of us, in case you are here, lecturers, please, Dr. Sarah, lecturers or student leaders, please stand just where you are. Please stand. If you took part in the training that happened in January, please stand. Lecturers and student leaders.
Okay. Now, this is a charge for the commissioning of the Emerging Leaders program. It gives me great pleasure to commission you today as Emerging Leaders program champions. I congratulate you on being identified as persons of honor, found to be faithful and trustworthy by the highest authority at Makerere University. I charge you to become role models, demonstrating lives of integrity, servant leadership, and patriotism amongst your peers. Please take the training you have received from the Emerging Leaders Program and SAFE campaign as your moral compass in your journey through university and beyond. I urge you to consider this responsibility as a calling from God Himself and encourage you to depend on Him for guidance as you fulfill this noble obligation. I congratulate you on this occasion of your commissioning, and may God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to stand. Now stand. Thank you again.
A round of applause for Mama. Yes, safe ALP champions, you may go back and have your seats for now. And Mama is moving towards the dummy book, the Emerging Leaders Program Training Handbook. I'd like to invite the chair of the University Council and the deputy chair of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Makerere University, the board chair, Global Leadership Summit, the board chair, Life Ministry Uganda. I don't know whether the guild president is here. If not, the vice guild president and the guild speaker. Please remember to have your masks on. Yes, the signing is symbolic of the launch that has just happened, and all cameras are on Mama as she signs that ELP handbook, Emerging Leaders Program Handbook. Yes, thank you. Hand clap for Mama. This 27th day of September 2024. Yes, another hand clap, another round of applause. We'll have the chair of the University Council, Mrs. Lona Magara. Thank you. We have the Deputy Chair of the University Council, Right Honorable Hidega. Yes, Bishop Joshua Rere, the Board Chair, Global Leadership Summit, Uganda. Okay, we have Her Excellency Joyce Serunjoji, an emerging leader, Vice Guild President of Makerere University. Pastor Joshua Mugabi, the board chair of Life Ministry Uganda. And Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, Vice Chancellor, Makerere University. The chair of the Emerging Leaders Program, and the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Finance and Administration, Professor Henry Alnaitwe. Yes, the co-chair of the Emerging Leaders Program and the board member of Life Ministry Uganda, this is Barbara Kaija. And finally, we have the guild speaker, Right Honorable Edgar Stewart Mujisha. And we'll have that photo taken. Just a photo moment. Mama, we appreciate you so much. And there's a token of appreciation, which Mrs. Magara, Professor Nawangwe, and Mrs. Kaija are going to help us together with the leaders. I want to appreciate you, Mama. Mama, that piece was done specially for you by a gentleman called Bwenje Adrian Henry, a student. He is a teacher and he has a Bachelor of Industrial Fine Art. Yes, from Rampada. This painting is a vibrant, symbolic depiction of Uganda's bright future, guided by her children and values of education. And at the heart of the composition stands Mama, and embodying maternal warmth and leadership. Her figure, central to the piece, signifies her role in nurturing and championing children's welfare, a cause that is very close to your heart. You can see her surrounded by happy children, carefree and full of joy and life. Yes, as you can see. And that is a gentleman that painted it, Bwenje, Adri, and Henry. Yes, honored to be there. And you can see the flag of Uganda, the ball, that is a powerful symbol that speaks of the value of sports in shaping character and providing opportunities. We appreciate you so much, Mama. Mark. Thank you so much, Mama. We heartily appreciate that. Thank you very much, Henry, for your exercising your gift like that parable of the talents. Mama, it's a photo moment. Okay, I request that the chair of the University Council, Mrs. Lona Magara, the Deputy Chair, Right Honorable Dan Kidega, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe. Okay, thank you very much. Before we have the photo moment, we'll all rise up for the anthems in reverse order. Thank you very much. We'll now have the photo moment. We'll invite the task force to join in the photo. invite a task force, join the photo, and I will read the names. We have Mrs. Betty Byanyuma, we have Mr. Rodney Rujema, Mr. Awel Uwihanganye, we have the Reverend Dr. Lydia Kitayimbwa, University Chaplain, Dr. Ronald Semialo, Karo Kinomjisha, Rose Kashemire, Andrew Bomjisha, Judith Murungi, Dr. Joyce Kule, Mr. Mudasiru Yusuf, Simon Ijala, and Elon Katweheyu.
As the task force joins into that photo, I will ask the following people to be ready to join in into the next the photo. I will ask Mr. Ojune Emmanuel, Abine Ronald, Sevina Solomon, Julian Kanyesije, Jovia Nampera, Dora Atukunda, John Mary Kayira, Bruce Mwebaze, Ainom Gisha Crespas, Sekide Andrew, Dr. Michael Kizito, Mr. Eric Tumwesije, Dr. Ronald Semialo, Dr. Christine Mbabazi, pardon me, Dr. Sarah Nakijova. Please join in for the photo.
These are the safe champions that have represented the 173 that were trained in January in Jinja. And yes, this is representative of all the entire cohort. As that photo is going on, our dear guest, Mama has served lunch, and I'd like to request that please stay back, the students, the guests, all of us. And that brings us to the end of our photo moment. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And my co-MC, you wanted to say something, but first say hello to Mama since you're there. These moments don't come every day. Yes, thank you very much. The entire team, the Office of the First Lady, we appreciate you so much for always being by our side. We appreciate the protocol team. We appreciate the Makerere University team, the security team, the entire family and fraternity of Makerere University. Our lunch is at near the checkpoint. I'm told it's about to arrive, so I want to kindly request us that we will be patient for a few minutes, very few minutes, and you don't want to miss this meal at this launch of this wonderful program. We appreciate all our invited guests. We appreciate the leaders from our mother university, our sister universities, from Makerere University. We appreciate the leaders, the staff of the university.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us up to now. Thank you, Mama, for sparing your time and being at this event. That really underscores the importance and gravity of this initiative. And we wish you safe travels and journey masses as you go ahead. King Elon, you mentioned lunch.
Yes, please.
And to my fellow students, that is a very important matter of life.
Is it a matter of life and death? Is it a matter of life and death?
You don't know. How long ago were you a campus student? Because it's serious. Now as they are there seated, they are smiling, but the stomachs are turning seriously. So please save us.
Yes, let's all bid Mama farewell as she, yes, let's appreciate, let's clap, and Mama, thank you very, very much for making this day, and thank you, we thank God for the wonderful weather that He has given to us. We appreciate God so much for the ambience, and yeah, the clouds tried to come, but God was able to keep them away. Lunch is here, so be sure that we are going to receive it. I'd like to invite our leaders. The chairperson of University Council and your vice, that the canvas is ready for signing. Yeah, we request that we can have Bishop Joshua Rwere and Professor Nawangwe and the DVC F&A, Pastor Joshua Mugabi.
Every day, we see the potential in our students. But what about the struggles they face outside our class? I remember a student who was once full of promise. Then I found out the pressure, the addiction. As educators, we have the power to transform, but we need more than just good intentions. We need to take action.
That's where the SAFE campaign comes in. SAFE stands for Sexually Fortified, Addiction-Free, Financially Faithful, and Education-Focused. It's a program designed to address real-life challenges that our students are passing through. So visit www.emergingleaders.ug and take part in the SAFE campaign. Remember, together, we can lead our students to a brighter future.
Are these drugs?
Mom? Why are you in my room? What are you doing?
Is this why your grades are falling? Is this why you've been asking for money?
I can stop anytime. It's not a big deal.
Being your child's friend is good, but being a parent is more important. The SAFE campaign is here to help. SAFE stands for Sexually Fortified, Addiction-Free, Financially Faithful, and Education-Focused. It's a comprehensive program that is here to help your child access a brighter future. So what you have to do is sign up at www.emergingleaders.ug to get your child enrolled for the SAFE campaign and be the parent that makes a difference.
I started just one sip. Thought it would help me relax, fit in. But now, It's just taking over my life. Every day feels like I'm sinking deeper. My grades are slipping. My friends are drifting away. I'm losing control. It feels like everything is falling apart.
But there is hope. The SAFE campaign is here to help you turn things around. SAFE stands for sexually fortified, addiction-free, financially faithful, and education-focused. Don't wait for things to get worse. Visit www.emergingleaders.ug in order to take part of the SAFE campaign and make your future a bright one. Remember, you have the strength to make your future a bright one.